I'm hearing dinner time, so maybe that means something for you, maybe as you're watching this. But I'm getting this energy that it's kind of like someone's been planting their seeds and watering them. Like apple trees can take such a long time to grow, like years and years. And this feels like something that someone's endured. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, someone's been putting in the work. It's interesting because in the Northern Hemisphere, going into autumn, and that's traditionally the time when people would usually start storing foods, And it feels like you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. Okay. Oh, interesting little message. Is it dinner time when you're watching this, maybe? Okay, so Chariot, Ace of Wands, wow, and then the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm getting quite a clear message here. There was some kind of disruption, a fallout kind of energy, breakup. I don't know if breakup's the right word, but there's definitely something where it caused a disconnect, a disruption in a connection specifically. And I'm hearing that this is wanting to be mended. Judgment, Devil at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the fuel for the fire has changed, okay? That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, Seven of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, yeah. Someone's investing their energy so much more wisely now, and in doing so, they're understanding the steps they need to take to ensure that the obstacles of the past are no longer on their path moving forwards. And it's a very internal thing. It's very internal, right? I also get this energy of be mindful that you're not still portraying your red flags, right? Because I think you can get so habituated to certain behaviors that you don't realize that even though internally you've shifted, and the external, it still doesn't seem like that, right? Two of Wands. Someone wants to put in the work here for this new path. And they know that it's almost like they feel like they have to anyway. Interesting. Queen of Wands, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a fallout. Truly, it's not very nice, because it feels like there's this energy where the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, an energy that has a lot of light, but also I think there was something about, there might have been some kind of selfishness or something that fueled whatever this was, okay? This disconnection, this argument. Just doesn't seem very nice. Nine of Swords, and then we've got the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, there have been obstacles to moving forwards, and it's all been it's kind of like the stories that you tell yourself on repeat, on loop. Okay, yeah, Eight of Cups, King of Cups. Wow. Oh my God. With the Eight of Cups as well, there's, you got the Seven of Cups and then the Eight of Cups, and that's a journey in itself. Emotionally, you've already checking all the different cups that you've been investing in, really understanding what has been draining you, pulling you, tempting you, versus what has truly been fueling your heart space. And you understand it's really about learning those lessons on an emotional level, and then doing so in such an ordered way, almost like quite strategic, if you will, but in a way where you've healthily understood the cycles and you're ready to leave those lessons there now. Well, you take the lessons with you, but leave that situation where it was, and not just keep dragging it out, right? Strength card. Oh, we like that. Okay, Strength. That was a Tower at the bottom of the deck as well. So someone might have had some kind of awakening. I'm even hearing, I don't know if it's a spirit baby or inner child, but there's definitely something about that's coming through as well, okay? The Star, and then the Four of Wands again at the bottom of the deck, yeah. They're healing their ways. I think that they're more along than, further along than they have been for a long time in their journey, that's for sure, because when I say that they are seeing these Four of Wands clearly, someone might have been quite non-committal maybe in the past, or acted in that way. And I think this is where they want to set the record straight, is what I'm hearing. Let's see. Eight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. I'm seeing like a feast. I'm seeing a table, and there's just a feast on this table. Wow. Oh, Ten of Cups as well. Gosh, Four of Pentacles. Once someone locks in, they're not going to let go. They're not going to let go. well. I felt really emotional just saying that. So clearly this is something that hits someone's heart like really deeply. This isn't something they want to mess around with. Maybe they had to learn the hard way as well, because this is like, I feel really emotional suddenly. Yeah, Six of Cups. See, they nostalgia. Of course they're emotional. They've had a lot of oh my god. Yeah, they've had a, oh my god. They've had a lot of reminiscing when it comes to this Queen of Wands, especially when it comes to what happened. Because with that Five of Swords, yeah, the Lovers came out anyway. They're very anxious about making this decision. Very anxious. I think this is, again, I said that loop, that story that's been on loop in their mind. It's almost like they get so driven and like geared up, to move. And then their mind takes over. Which means there must be still some kind of healing they're doing when they're in their mental state. And maybe it is that inner child that was coming through. Maybe it's a story of not being loved correctly or not being received in the same way. And, I'm not sure they feel like they can handle their emotions. I do feel like they want to communicate. Really. This has been a big learning cycle for somebody then, because they need to have learned how to communicate if they've been held back so much. Knight of Wands, God. This is what they're moving away from. I was crying with the Eight of Cups. I've literally just heard childish. I wouldn't really say that. So that's clearly come through for a reason for someone. They've been acting very selfishly, impulsively, in a way where they've not even cared about anybody else's feelings. Which means that really they've not really cared about their own. And I mean, on a deeper level, they're true deeper emotions, okay? They didn't address them for a long time. I'm hearing hit and run, okay, which is really interesting. But what I'm getting from that is, this is someone who would take a hit of whatever they wanted and then go. And I think this is something that might have happened in the past. It might have felt like that, at least. Again, because they were stuck in their own mind. Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck again. I don't know what that is. There's some deep-rooted trauma there. And it's something to do with the Ace of Wands with that Knight of Wands. The way they harness their energy in a way that is just, I speak about it a lot. Okay, I've spoken about how society can really, Four of Wands, see, they're seeing this. That's the awakening, the judgment and the strength, and then the Four of Wands. They've had some serious awakenings. Temperance, the Emperor, the Empress, the sadness between these two. Okay, going back to this, it's almost like someone was running off accolades, of kind of this, bravado image of someone who, I don't know, I just think that when they hurt deeply, but they didn't handle it well. They didn't know how to handle their scars at all. But as a result, they hurt others along the way. I actually don't think that was their intention. I think they were just so focused on themselves, I'm hearing self-indulgent. But they've sat in that regret, truly, they've sat in that sadness. And then with that Four of Wands that's coming out here, Two of Pentacles and the Hierophant, they know that they can't juggle their past ways and whatever might still be lingering, it might be that energy of, the temptations that come over every now and then. Maybe it's that boy energy that's coming through here, just hitting and running or whatever, thinking they can get what they want and go. And, whether that's sex or whether it's like addictions of other kinds, even if it's not an addiction, it's just some kind of dopamine hit. I think that they're understanding with this Hierophant as well, they're really getting down and like serious with healing this and wanting to heal this. I think that there's a lot on their plate. There's been a lot on their plate for a while, as in like whatever this is that's been, it's like they've cycled through different things each time. I'm hearing different people, actually, that just came through. That's really sad because that's a lot of different mixing of energies, emotion. Yeah, they might be getting help here though. Someone who they can trust, someone I feel like is maybe a bit older than them, maybe in a different kind of position, like a mentoring position that they look up to as well, maybe. Something like that anyway, okay. But they're certainly honing in on Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Pentacles, they're certainly honing in on doing things the right way this time. I think that for a long time they'd lost their core values. Their value system was all over the place. They got so disconnected that even they themselves felt that just came through. So they felt terrible. Okay. They felt really, really bad. They were betraying themselves. They were betraying their own heart. I don't think they realised this is what it was. Don't forget, divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy heal and understand their emotions very differently. Divine masculine will want to see the facts, the logic, to really understand it. That's like the inner workings. The divine feminine will have this way of just feeling through and understanding things and connecting on a higher level. And I think this is someone for a long time. They were thinking that they could just plaster over this wound again and again with the same things, and they were just hurting deeper and deeper. And they were even choosing people that came through before, and just their choices were just demanding the worst version of themselves. Yeah, 8 of Swords. I do feel like, there's this energy of being mindful that you're not trapped in I'm better than you energy when you're receiving whoever this is, the world, because this is the opportunity to start a whole new chapter. Okay, a whole new chapter where actually I think it's going to be one of those things, where you have to allow someone to take the lead, and sometimes some people take the lead in a way that they're so unsure, and because they have that trauma within them, they're so uncertain about how things are going to go. It's almost like they will come through with a little bit of a mask, less vulnerability, just to see how they can approach the situation, whether they're safe to move forward. So just be mindful, and if you feel yourself getting triggered, step back. Ask yourself, why are you getting triggered? When someone's clearly trying to just find safety for themselves too. What's making you triggered? If you're in your alignment, okay. Winter time could be important within 2 to 4 weeks as well. Aquarius energy. Within 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, let's find out what else you need to know. I wasn't actually going to go over this deck next, but that just happened for a reason, clearly. Okay. I think this is a time to really be mindful of your own mindset here. And truly, don't block yourself off from your own heart, especially if you're receiving this person. Maybe there's something about forgiveness here that's really important, but you can only have forgiveness when you allow yourselves to create the safe space for communication for both of you. That doesn't just come straight away, especially if it's been a while. Maybe Mercury, the magician, communication. Curious, quick ideas manifest. Like I said, when someone wants to come in, they only want to come in, and they're not going to want to let go easily. So that's why it's kind of like, yes, different people have different ways. Okay, just remember that. Communication styles as well. Leo, strength energy. That's a strength card that's come out twice now. That's a big deal. This is about courage. You having the courage to receive as well, and having the courage to, yes, you have healthy boundaries, and also the courage to allow other people to be themselves as well, for them to be able to express how they need to. That's where you surrender. You don't try to control the situation and the other person. Courage, confidence, persuasion, wisdom, power. Fixed sign energy is really big deal here. So you've got 2, Leo energy and fixed sign. So that's also, again, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. Taurus come through before as well. Purpose driven, secure, reliable, keep on going, carry on. I think this is his person actually, which is ironic because in the past they've acted the other way. Sagittarius energy. So again, that's around winter as well. Temperance. Moderation. They're learning moderation, whoever this is. And I'm also getting this message of that impulse can sometimes also be like anger or bursts of frustration, or like communicating in a way where you're so impassioned with emotion. I get it, but sometimes it can really come across in such a way like maybe you didn't even mean it, because in the moment you were so impassioned with that emotion, it just came out, that even you take a moment and step back and think, oh my god, I didn't need to do that, right? So it's about checking yourself. Moderation for you as well. Harmony, peace, balance, alchemy. You're going to have to really learn that inner alchemy here. Okay, Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune. Again, Sagittarius season. Gemini, the Lovers. Alignment, love, openness, partnership. Okay, this is what this is an opportunity for, especially as we go towards the end of this year. I think this is something that's going to begin to unfold over the next 2 weeks. And it all starts within. Truly, doesn't it always, right? It does. Again, Taurus energy, so the Hierophant again. So this again is about that. This says faith. Okay, it also says marriage. So I think someone's truly seeing long term, especially with that Four of Wands, okay? And the Queen of Pentacles. Ruler, leader, tradition, faith. This is what I meant by someone's value system. They're really honing back in on their value system. Spring, new beginnings, okay? To remember who they are, what they are worthy of, and what they desire, okay? Twin flames. Mirrors. Solar flash. You're both going to be experiencing some kind of ascension right now as I'm recording. You're listening to this. Both of you are experiencing some kind of ascension. You might even be getting symptoms. Okay, you're both going through an upgrading, preparing you. That's why this twin flame card has just come out, to confirm that you're both right now reflecting something. So whatever's happening within you internally in your mind space, you're both going through it at the same time, okay? And for different reasons, but it's really asking you to ground in on yourself. Okay, this is going to be important. We've got the Pisces under that as well. So this eclipse season is going to be really important. Okay, for whatever this is, because there's a chapter that's closing, and it's going to really open the space for something to come in now, to enter the scene. Okay, I'm going to get some cards. First, I'm going to get cards for the connection. So I want to get some cards to confirm your connection as well. Okay. Okay, child, maybe you have a daughter, hornet's nest. Okay, no. This is actually this is what I was talking about before, that impulsive act, the way you... So this divine feminine energy in the past, you've already responded from a place of you're hurt, you're wounded inner child. And with that Queen of Wands, this is confirmation that you really have it within you to create a really hostile environment, truly. The hornet's nest, stung, volatile, conflict, anger, aggression, discord. Actions have consequences. Now this is who I think you've been working on, your inner child, okay? So, and that's why you've gone from that Queen of Wands to Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is way more grounded. Way more grounded. The helm, steer clear, steer clear. You're going to want others will want to steer clear of a situation like that, understandably. Again, it is about your own emotions, you know, that doesn't come from nowhere. It's from your own grief internally, from that inner child. Again, look, the glass half, vulnerability, learning to treat yourself with compassion. Even if you do feel those emotions, it's kind of like accepting that and observing that. You know, I think that maybe someone bled. Do you know what I mean? Not like actually, God, I hope not. I'm talking about like emotionally hurt them. They felt stung. The moon. Again, that divine feminine, that psyche, that subconscious. You might be quite artistic and creative as well. Affection, recognition, sensuality, fantasy. It does say invitation there as well. So again, the connection, just confirming the connection here. So I think this is a connection that has really got you both into kind of understand your own subconscious mind here. And actually what it's done is you're understanding each other's better. With this twin flame card here, it's kind of helping you to understand each other's ways. The church. This again another card of marriage, but also this is about kind of family values, you know, dogma, religion and cultural programming, collective consciousness, belief systems, structure. Okay, so there's definitely something here about this was in the way in the past. The heart. Yeah, your heart couldn't sing, couldn't glow. That was what was in the way. I don't know if you realise this, but there's definitely something, and I think it had to do with the way your mind was still structured, the way your heart was still not fully going for what it wanted. Okay, so we've got one sticking out there. I'll get that in a moment. We've just had rings and man. Okay, so that's that masculine energy. So I think that's something to do with they've had to close out this, especially this church, this 3D outlook, this programming externally, including family, how they were brought up. Okay, so number 25, agreement, pact, cycles, promise, karma, closure, circle of trust, committed, contracts, partnership, reaping what you sow. I said that. Okay, obstacles. Yeah, this is the obstacle. This is what somebody was, it's almost like they had an agreement, woman at the bottom of the deck, they had an agreement that needed to be fulfilled before they could come back around into this connection, and it has something to do with those family values, with that structural programming, that conditioning that was driving their behaviors that I mentioned before with that energy, you know, that would know one's energy, like societally like programmed and supported and validated, when really it was just feeding their wounds and allowing them to cycle in their lower 3 chakras. I speak about this all the time, right? So they weren't ascending. And the birds, this is to do with communication, but it's the kind of communication, and it's come out with a hornet's nest. So I think someone's really worried. They don't want that again. They don't want to deal with that. They have a glass heart too. You know, they don't want to deal with that aggression. And I don't think they know. I actually don't think they're very good at dealing with conflict. And I'm not talking about something where you create a hostile environment. No one wants to deal with that. I'm talking about, which by the way isn't anything bad against, like I said, that comes from a place of grief internally. That's not hard to handle yourself, especially when you have to be the one who feels the impact of the actions of that after. That's painful. It hurts you more than it hurts them. I don't even think they realize. Number 12, number 7, okay, so communicating, negotiating, chatting, discussing, flighty, nervous, making contact, texting or calling someone noisy, ADHD maybe. Another one for your connection. So maybe that's what it was like in the past. It was like really like almost surface level in the terms of how you spoke, the communication. Maybe not the depth of the connection, but the communication was really like, you know, chatty and keeping it on that level. Or maybe it was a little text and call here and there kind of thing, right? So we've got the bear, number 15, 10, October. There's something about affluence here. Your connection is, and that 10 of Pentacles wanted to come out before. I think that maybe you're meant to ground this so that you can actually flourish together. That's what it feels like. Mama bear, muscular, large, strong, rich, affluence, judge, CEO, boss, finance. You might have been connected when it comes to money. Maybe that's something that you both were connected to in terms of healing through as well, okay? But I think that also has something to do with the family values that were blocks here, okay? So now I'm going to get a card, some cards for the Divine Feminine here, even though, yeah, this is what we're saying, make sure you're watching your own red flags. Time to cut out that behaviour because it's not serving you, let alone anyone else, yeah. And it's all to do with those bottled up emotions from when you were younger. Okay, so take some of your time, look after you, especially when you feel like you're being triggered. Come back to yourself, look after yourself, truly comfort. Find out what your comforts are. It's okay to indulge in your comforts, you know, especially when you're feeling triggered and your inner child is like, oh my God, I need you, right? Culture could be a big deal for you. Maybe that's another thing that could be maybe your conditioning that you need to break through from, okay? Social connection, warmth, ritual, hospitality, reflection. You could be someone who likes to have your little rituals, you know, maybe little herbal teas, little baths, that kind of thing. Seeing like reading maybe. Warmth, you time. Okay, you got to take that you time. White feather. You might be receiving a lot of synchronicities right now, signs that's alluding towards what's coming next as a cycle that's appearing, okay, that you're being prepared for. It all starts with that alignment that comes within, that lovers. Yeah, so that you can be in the space to receive this love, that openness, that commitment of, you know what, let's align. You know what I mean? Which means you have to devote yourself to your path too, okay? Because you can't just overgive and you can't just not give half of you. Do you know what I mean? Stepping stones, number 17, the process of arrival, you're getting there, step by step, where, how to keep on going, baby steps, progress, spiritual growth. It's so interesting because I feel like when I was reading this, I felt like I was reading through feeling like a divine masculine energy, and now it's turned into more of a divine feminine. Obviously, I'm specifically talking about these cards now, they're for divine feminine, but generally as well. So I feel like you're both so connected. Like your energy is like almost one system. You really, when you come together, you're going to be able to really align beautifully. But you're going to have to be really intentional with it as well, okay? Ball and chain. Okay, so maybe this divine feminine energy has, you have your own restrictions, feeling weighed down. You have heavy burdens. Maybe you have to deal with codependency. In the past, that's where that inner child was coming through as well. The little girl, okay? Maybe that's a reason why you feel you've grown up with difficult relationships. You've not known how to have that communication that's healthy. Okay, baggage, addictions. Maybe that's what it led to for you as well. So I think that you're really healing through that codependency, and I think that's where you take your me time instead of attaching to someone else. That's where things have changed in baby steps. You're getting there. I think you've been scared of commitment as well. It's something you both mirror to a degree. You feared it as well, actually, and that's where you've changed. You're healing too. Yeah, you're finding your balance, your centeredness. You know, meditation might be a thing for you, number 5. balance, just right, equality, well-being. Your well-being is paramount right now, divine feminine. Flow, feeling complete, integrating opposing forces. So it's going within, being aware, self-awareness. Okay, let's get another one for divine feminine. Heart is at the bottom of the deck. Milky Way. So maybe right now you are focused on create networking, marketing yourself. Maybe you're branching out, number 20. Internet, fame, exposure, publicity, expanding, social media, connected, spotlight, the internet. So maybe that's where you're like refocusing your energy in a more healthier way. So you're following your heart instead, and this is how you're following your heart, by allowing yourself to align with your purpose, which is going to be connected to your heart space. Okay, divine masculine. Let's get some cards for divine masculine. That's beautiful, because I feel like you're healthily learning how to channel your energy now. Like it said, baby steps. Okay, divine masculine. 2 just came. Interesting. So we just got the letter and the snowflake. Someone definitely wants to communicate, and it looks like they're going to be, but there is this energy of it's going to be something that you need to handle with care. That snowflake has come out, and that glass heart kept coming out before as well. And the way that energy of the birds, it's like someone's really nervous. Okay, I'm not saying it's the best thing for divine masculine to feel that, but I think it's based off they just don't want to repeat the past. But also I actually feel like they're very sensitive, like they have a really fragile heart. Maybe they wouldn't want me to say that, but the truth is the truth. There's somebody who I think that they might get hurt quite easily, actually, which again comes from something to do with their inner child too. Okay, number 27 and 7. Letter, writing, communication, email, records, news, making contact, written documents. That's 2 about making contact. Okay, and that came out with the man, and this has come out with the divine masculine. Okay, so snowflake, one of a kind as well, by the way. Delicate situation, original, vulnerable, handle with care, frozen. I think they get frozen with emotion, and I think that every time they've wanted to come through with that communication, like I mentioned, they'll get frozen. They're in a state of freeze. This is where they're changing. Being precise is going to be really important here. Fragile. So it's kind of like clear communication where you both want to communicate and you both want to understand each other, right? Not forcing, but allowing the heart, following the heart. That keeps wanting to come through. Okay, divine masculine. I think this is something that they've never done before, truly, for them to be feeling like this. Their heart is on the line. That's how they feel. Their heart is on the line. Head of the pack. There could be a leader, someone who maybe they have their own business. Number 15, successful. Competition. Maybe they're quite competitive. It's interesting. They have drive. They lead. They get it done. Persistence. Will to win. This is like really divine masculine. Will to win, motivated, finishing first, dominate. It says alpha male as well. I don't know how I feel about that term, but they're in it to win. Maybe they were a bit performing before, but I think that's changing with the way this is coming into alignment. Lily, this is ambition, ambitious, career driven, mature, established. So whatever they've been working on, they've become quite established. I don't know if you know that. Number 30, we've got also something about sexuality. They're quite experienced in that department, but also I think that they've learned how to really hone in on it, or they're learning how to. Okay, there's something about virtue here. They're understanding how to harness. Remember I said that Ace of Wands and Knight of Wands, that's really their sexual and that fuckboy energy that was coming through. I think they're changing. They really are. Virtue, I mean, gosh. Longevity, they want the long haul. I said it before, they're seeing the long haul. They're on aim. The archer there. When they, like I said, when they lock in, they're not going to want to let go. That's it for them. I think that's it. That's what they like with anything that they go after, okay? They've been riding solo for a while. Number 21. They might have been recently to an island. They might be in an island right now. Foreign affairs. They might have international commitments as well. Solo, isolation, standoffish. I think they've been quite standoffish when it comes to like connections and relationships, truly. That's how it feels. Separation, you're in separation. Estranged, lonely. They've had to feel loneliness. They've had to. Independent, refuge, protected. I'm hearing that they might have had like that, that loneliness might have been falsely fed with like, that came through before about people. So they've really had to be mindful of their connections, learn how to like connect with the right ones. Oh my God, can we just take a moment? How many times is this card going to come through at the bottom of the deck? It really wants to come through, but it's just, I think that's what it is. I think it's kind of like it wants to come through. Right about now, you're creating the right circumstances for this within yourself, so you can create this like secure environment outside of you. Okay, the anvil, number 2. Resolve, purpose, focus, concentration, resilience, striking while the iron's hot, taking determined action, strength, persistence. And this again is for the divine masculine. That's just confirming again, that's who they are. You're both connected in your heart space, that is for sure. So I think someone needs that confirmation that you are both like emotionally. I think that you both might quite well be feeling quite fragile as well. I just wanted to get some messages for moving forwards. I'm just looking at these the difference in these cards. The divine feminine is so you need to really focus on finding your inner center, your inner alignment, honing in on those emotions and that energy, because that's what's really going to help lead this. Divine masculine is literally like he's ready to take the lead, but I'm not saying it's from that more of that divine space, but I think this is where he wants to be moving towards, and he's been working on it on his own journey. He's been having some successes. I'm not sure you're aware of this, but okay, number 9. Don't judge this, just surrender. I know it's triggering, but from a higher perspective, it's clearing energy and bringing us closer together. This is a twin flame oracle deck, so you are coming through as twin flames. Okay. Number 7. They're beautiful numbers, 7 and 9. Really high level numbers. I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. I feel like that could even be the divine feminine with that little girl that came through, you know, that inner child. That insecurity, that is an inside job, because I actually feel like she's been working with that Queen of Pentacles. You're getting there, truly. Okay, let's see what other messages we've got. Don't forget, you're really mirroring right now. Okay, number 1. I need to be strong in who I am before I can merge my energy with yours in the 3D. I'm afraid I could lose myself in this relationship. That's the divine masculine for sure. Number 5. My ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. I've created walls to protect myself. And isn't that what we were saying before? Confirmation. At least someone's recognizing this and they know this and they're actually working on this. That's why that snowflake came through as well. Also why they're probably redirecting their energy to, you know, external stability. Okay, number 5 again. That's important. Mirrors. You are in your old patterns, but you can't see it. Okay, number 11. When we're talking, things just come out of my mouth, and afterwards I'm not even sure why I said them. I said that before. That came through with that energy of sometimes you'll say something and even you will be the one who ends up hurting from it even more, you know, regretting it even more. So it's kind of like, how have you learnt that cycle? How have you learnt, are you working with your throat chakra? You know, are you finding balance in your throat chakra and that sacral, you know, to really learn how to harness that energy? You know, number 4, I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fear so I can come back to you. You fully believe that is happening. Okay. That's another thing. How are you processing your fears? Because if you're mirroring divine feminine and you're leading emotionally, energetically, that's going to really help your divine masculine as well as you process through those fears. Really ask yourself, you know, what is it that was keeping you in codependency before, whatever it is that resonates for you. Okay, number 4 again. Expand your concept of what a twin flame is. It's more than romance. It's a deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. Number 1, another number 1. Oh, we've got the Big Ben there. Could be relevant. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our union. Ooh. And I've said this before, divine timing is truly how you're aligning with yourself. It's not a magical date on the calendar, right? But I do think that the next 2 seasons, autumn to winter, are going to be really important for things to unfold here. Number 9, again, don't listen to other people. Trust yourself. You know the truth. Gosh, I just want to keep getting these. Clearly somebody wants a message. Okay, yeah. Less of that external noise that just makes you fear moving forwards, right? Number 6, communication. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. This is divine masculine wants to take the lead. I want to make that clear. They want to come forward and communicate. Okay, so I actually feel like this could be the divine. Well, you know what? All I'm saying is create the space that's going to be safe for both of you to communicate and allow whoever needs to take the lead to take the lead. okay? And don't forget that when I was doing the Divine Masculine cards, that's when those communication cards are coming through, okay? So they want to. Number 11, I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. 1111 could be important for you, okay? I think that in the past there have been someone who they wanted to hear from you. They might have even acted in ways to try and entice your communication. And that is, again, that's going to be ego driven. And if that's like Divine Feminine response to that, that's again going to be an ego driven response. So yeah, this is why heart centered is so important in this connection. Number 4 again, I want to talk to you, but I'm not sure I'm ready to share everything and give you the answers you deserve. This is why they're really going to approach in a way that's really like still feels a bit standoffish, but they're just not going to be all, you know, you want that communication sometimes. They're like, hey, let's just have it all on the table. Let's just like be honest. This is my feelings. This is what's been happening. Blah, 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 blah. I think someone's still feeling very fragile and vulnerable. Number 11 again. Okay, so I think it's just going to be about creating that space. That's the most important thing here. With that world energy, it's going to close out the past in order for this newness to come through, okay? Number 5 again, our energy is stagnant. Triggers, that keeps coming through, that word triggers, sometimes happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow again. Yeah, I need to remember that every time that you're going through this connection, the relationship, the cycles. Right, they're coming up for a reason for you to clear through. That's the whole point of your big point of your connection, okay? Not the whole, but a big point. Number 5, I feel you pulling away, and it triggers my fears that you'll leave me for good. Triggers everywhere. My God. Number 5, there's a lot of change taking place. And you're recognizing your own red flags and how you can be the right kind of who you need to be for this cycle that's coming through, okay, with these rings. Just in terms of your connection moving forwards, yes, there's a new start, the leap of faith, but it comes with this death card, this transformation. Right about now, someone's really releasing the emotion. Both of you are, by the way. The emotion that has kept you trapped in the past, basically. You're both learning how to move forward. You're bringing divine justice to yourselves, okay? Very solar right now. Moving forwards, you're going to be, as you cycle this out with the wheel here, and the wheel did come out as well. So huge cycles and shifts taking place, right? Why? So you can have this Ace of Pentacles and this 10 of Pentacles come through, and the 6 of Wands there as well. So yeah, this is like a really internal process right now. You're coming into your alignment and you're mirroring each other as you're doing this, okay? So be very mindful of what is accessing your energy, how you are processing your emotions, okay? And how you are also thinking and feeling about each other, okay? Because you want that to be from a healthy heart space, because you both feel that deeply in your heart, right? When you get triggered and fears come up, check yourself. That's a beautiful, potent time to do what you are here to do as part of your connection, okay? Heal through it, clear through it, okay? Sending so much love.